Ren from Hallowed Be Thy Game, and today we're going to be sharing with you the games we're currently playing. Let's check it out. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hallowed Be Thy Game, and I am so psyched to have Danik here with me.
I'm here with you, man.
And we are diving into the games we're currently playing.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and I think we're going to mostly keep it to like the last 3 games we've been playing, and I'm really hyped for this.
I am too.
Yeah, I've been looking for a reason to kind of dive in deep and just share like my thoughts in these games, but the opportunity to go into like in-depth reviews, it's been a pretty crazy couple months, and I just haven't had time to do those long-form videos as I usually did, but anyways, yeah, like...
Been moving some people around, been life busy, but here we are.
It's been cuckoo bananas, but I'm psyched the schedules have aligned. The biggest release that I have most recently played would be Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Sure.
Yeah, and have you picked it up yet?
I have not.
Yeah, so it was a phenomenal end cap to like the trilogy, you know, obviously, unfortunately,
Very
X.
excellent.
Yeah, hopefully X comes. I really liked what they did with the like combat system. It felt very unique within the series, but it also had a lot of, I don't know, kind of deeply rooted systems in like Xenoblade 1 and some aspects of 2, but it was just a very nice breath of fresh air. The story was really jaw-dropping. I'm curious to see where they go from here, and I'm hoping it's the Xenoblade X port. So I think that's kind of the best route right now, because honestly, it was such an excellent thing. I don't know what they could do to propel it forward, but to be honest, after the end of 1 and 2, without sharing any spoilers, I mean, those were both great encapsulated.
Was it like
experience.
a bow at the end, not necessarily sequel bait kind of thing?
Right, yeah, it's odd. I feel like they left it open to potentially DLC storylines.
Which is coming, right?
Right, yeah, like they have the season pass and everything like that, but nothing like story plotline wise as of the recording of this video. But it's just like, I don't know where you go from here, because it was very emotionally charged. It kind of called back to like a lot of the dire and not metaphysical, but a lot of the severity that you would see in like Xenogears and Xenosaga, like that darker storytelling, darker settings. It really kind of embraced that, but with a lot of the Xenoblade charm that we would see from 1 and 2. So, I mean, I loved it. The cast was great. As of right now, it's a very strong contender for my game of the year. It's going to be tough to sit down and kind of go through a lot of the major releases. But yeah, that was one. I'll pass it over to you. What games have you been on right now?
Probably like you, the most recent thing I've finished would be the controversial Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh my god, I forgot you were playing that. You beat it.
I did get through it. I have a lot of passionate opinions about it, as most people seem to.
Yeah, dude, share.
I will.
Juicy details.
For sure. I will come with the caveat that I had no real investment in the game prior to its release.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't play it when it came out.
I think neither of us were on this huge hype train.
We just not on purpose, just weren't really a part of it.
Right.
It came out and you kind of heard all the noise about it. This anime on Netflix is out. The hype kind of showed up and you read a million comments, the game is fixed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, I played it on PC. It ran great.
Okay.
But it is a mess in places, like especially when cars would wreck.
Really?
The engine seemed like it'd kind of freak out. I don't know. But I enjoyed it quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... I didn't feel the RPG mechanics, because
I was wondering what the gameplay was like.
Yeah, it's a pretty good shooter.
Okay.
Like, I just went through everything. I mentioned to you early in my run, I was kind of playing it action, rooty tooty shooty.
Yeah.
And as a shooty game, I liked it. The guns felt good. There's a ton of different like elemental or enchant type of things you can do to weapons. I really didn't get into all that. I kept it simple with a bullet and in the chamber. And that was it.
Flat damage.
Just doing some damage.
Yeah.
And I had a good time.
Yeah.
The story was pretty intriguing. I enjoyed the overall
concepts
of things.
Right.
Like just your brain and your soul is an operating system that can be corrupted. Like I kind of that was a good hook for me.
Right.
I mean, as you and I've talked, I did skip a lot of it, but I did enjoy what was there. The Night City that you hang out in is one of my favorite worlds I've ever just been in. I really enjoyed just how much was around you, what all you could see. Right. It seemed like every corner was really pretty unique in a lot of ways. It didn't seem like you could see copy and pasted locales anywhere. Right. Now, granted, I did pretty linearly play through the game too.
Right.
So take me with a grain of salt there. But I did like Night City a whole lot. The story kept me going. The gameplay was good. I did not think the RPG mechanics were worth anything at all.
Really?
No. Yeah. Like, you had some, like, branching, your, like, Mass Effect kind of dialogue stuff.
Right.
That stuff was there, but I never spent a talent point.
That's
because I didn't realize what they were, because I skipped so daggone much that I didn't realize till probably halfway through the game I had talent points to spend. And so just for myself, I was like, I'll never spend one and see if I can beat the game. You can.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool, though.
But I feel like maybe the marketing and just people's expectations got intense. Yeah. But just as a $20 shooty game, I enjoyed it.
Well, I think like the part that was explained to me by Ionize, who was uber hyped for the game, was like, I guess it just ran really bad on previous gen.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. I think it was pretty miserable on like a PS4 or Xbox One.
Yeah, but like if you were fortunate enough at the time to have a Series X or a PS5 or a high-end PC, it sounds like it was okay.
Okay, and now I guess it's in a pretty okay...
Did you play it on Steam Deck?
A little bit.
Okay.
It did some pretty hilarious tricks to run. It ran well, I will say. Okay. But the graphics get pretty comically bad. Like, really? Like characters would look like Metal Gear Solid 1 PS1 characters.
Excellent. I might actually...
It did run well, so...
Cool, all right.
But it was an all right time.
Okay, excellent. I need to play it. I am looking forward to Starfield next year. I've been on a huge Bethesda kick, which will lead me to, like... my most recent game.
Shall we segue?
Yeah, well, I mean, talking about cutting-edge graphics, I'm knee-deep in it right now. I am playing Morrowind, which came out roughly...
2002?
Yeah, I think, like, I just looked last night getting ready for this video. It came out in 2003.
Nice.
And, I love Morrowind. Yeah. I've always loved Morrowind, but, like, I've been on kind of a renaissance of like games I haven't played in a long time. And,
sure.
And obviously this whole channel has been based and built around JRPGs, and I hardly ever talk about Western RPGs because I've really fallen out of love with the modern climate. Now I do need to try Cyberpunk, and I need to there's a couple of other big ones everybody always recommends, like Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Sure.
I've been wanting to try to dabble back into it, but I've just been
the original and Morrowind.
Oh man, dude, like getting off the boat, the music, my God.
Morrowind had excellent
music. Might be one of my favorite soundtracks to any video game, but it's just weird because like back in 2003, even on the original OG Xbox, like you have these like hardcore immersion things that they never really leaned into again, because Morrowind can be unforgiving. It can be just straight up broken with in-game mechanics, but there's just a level of realism and believability, and I fell in love playing Morrowind with my brother so long ago. I mean, we just were head over heels for the game. There's so many weird things, like even back then, like you'll be playing the game and you go to rest in an inn and you wake up and then Shazam, there's a Dark Brotherhood assassin in the room trying to kill you, and it's like, oh my God, like genuinely, like not joking, I almost threw the controller out of my hand. It startled me so bad. And then you slay the assassin and you read it and it's like somebody's paid to have this. Well, no, I'm sorry, I'm blending games right now. But then you talk to like a guard and the guards are not really wanting to talk to you because it's like, dude, the Dark Brotherhood's
they're
after you. Get away from me. And it's just like, oh my God, like. That's what I loved about like Western RPGs back in the day, was just their commitment to world building. And obviously the graphics in Morrowind have aged a bit, but I don't know, I'm so nostalgic for it that I'm having an absurdly good time with it right now.
That's very excellent.
Yeah.
What class did you make?
I custom built it, but since I'm going to be the Nerevarine, I'm a Dunmer or a Dark Elf. I guess you would call it a warrior magic. I don't know. I got destruction and restoration magic, and I'm going Longblade, and I just like. I'm set now. I just last night snuck into a pretty late game area and picked up these gloves that essentially make me like god tier.
Immortal.
Like if the Dovahkiin marched into Merlin right now, I would Fus Rado him back to the throat of the world. Anyways, but yeah, that's for any Elder Scrolls fans out there. I'm
cut.
Yeah, the deep cut. But no, I'm just like, I'm loving it. I'm completely sucked in. And it's one of the, like when you find a game that just clicks with you and like hours melt by.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah, I think I've been in like a post Xenoblade 3 like funk.
Haze.
Depression. Yeah, because I had the absolute blast of playing Soul Hackers 2. That was an intense week. And then to get all that footage and everything done. And then I went into Xenoblade 3 and I had a blast with it. But afterwards, I played some games that were excellent, but I've been kind of trying to shake it. And I think going back to Merlin's helped me kind of bust out of that.
Very cool.
Get back into it. So yeah, sorry, that was a long-winded
discussion
on Merlin. So, but what other games
I'll talk too much then about World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay, yes. Heck yes, dude.
I'm sorry.
Dude.
It's like...
Speaking of Merlin, you brought the skooma and moon sugar back
take,
over.
Take a sip, man.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife last night. It was like, Danix playing World of Warcraft again. She like gave me this look. And I was like, I haven't renewed or anything.
I'm sorry to your poor wife.
No, it's all good. Well,
we've been playing Alliance, which I've never really done before.
And more specifically, you're playing
Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Excuse me, yes.
And for people who may not be up to date on World of Warcraft. So essentially there is retail World of Warcraft, which is like the latest expansion.
It's like the 10th expansion on retail.
But they started doing this really cool thing where they essentially revert back to just a current expansion is out and they do the old school patch release cycle. And there's essentially, I don't know if sanction's the right word, but you have like, servers that are sanctioned to follow as if Wrath of the Lich King was the current expansion.
Yeah,
which is excellent.
So this is the second expansion, and it came out in 2008, whatever.
Yeah.
And it just came out Classic. What, a month ago now?
Really, I didn't know it was that recent. Wow.
So we started playing right before Wrath of the Lich King Classic launched. Like they started hey, the pre-patch for. Oh man. So they were doing the.
Did they have the Argent Dawn?
They did the invasion, which was actually kind of a bummer because we saw they were doing the pre-patch event, and we're like, oh, cool.
That tabard was sick, yo.
It was.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
I'm sorry.
I got it on retail though.
Yeah.
The problem was that we were just a little late showing up. They gave you the big experience boost. Hey, get to 70s with 100% XP or whatever.
Rock on. Okay.
But we got to 40, so we kind of missed the event. We saw people die. We saw Stormwind get taken over by, people getting. They did it a little differently actually, and they timed it. Ooh. So Stormwind wouldn't be
dumpster fire.
Just a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I thought that sucked.
Well, so people, just real quick to explain, because I forget.
It comes so easy to us.
Yeah, well, I mean, I played WoW for 15 years, almost exclusively. I would hit the occasional big release other game, but I was knee deep into it. But they had this really cool event where the Lich King, which is essentially a god-tier necromancer.
Big villain.
Yeah, and he starts invading the mainland of Azeroth from Northrend, which is essentially Antarctica. It's a very dangerous, deadly place. And so when he starts invading it, he sends packages to Azeroth, crates that are filled with the plague, essentially. And it starts turning players to zombies. And then when you're zombies, you can infect other players.
Regardless of PvP.
Yeah, so when the game originally launched in 2008, the main city was a wasteland
Just
of skeletons.
And everywhere. Dead NPCs.
Yeah, they would go to the auction house. They would go to the flight people. I remember people would go to the flight masters, infect somebody, and then they would fly to another. It was just an excellently executed event, and
it was very.
It's cool they redid it for the classic servers. So
but I hit 80 2 or 3 days ago. Hit the new level cap.
Okay, you're a Draenei
doing the Draenei Shaman thing. I played like you played this game too doggone much.
Yeah, I wasn't a filthy alliance though.
Me either. I am now, and it's honestly disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, it is cool. Like
peer pressure pushes you sometimes.
I always liked the power fantasy of like the paladins, though. Like that was before.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but like
I hate paladins.
Yeah,
to this day, since vanilla WoW as an orc shaman.
Yeah.
If you're a paladin player, I don't like you.
All right.
I hate paladins.
They were so hard to kill, man.
Dude.
Yeah, the bubble.
They would bubble hearth and laugh at me.
Yeah.
And 20 whatever years later, I'm still mad at paladins.
We're still seething.
That game, I have a deep seated.
Yeah. Well, the second Death Knights came out. That's when I shifted over to tanking, and that was all she wrote. That was probably the first time I started studying hard to get better at a game. Yeah, to get good. And what a ride.
Yeah.
What a ride. I'm still not at the point where I'm ready to re-up it or anything, but there were some good memories in there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah. All right.
I'm not gonna feed you too much on World of Warcraft. What's in one more?
So I'm gonna try to sneak in 3 games here real quick. In the post-game Xenoblade Funk, before I got to Morrowind, I was knocking out some shorter games.
Very excellent.
And I had an absurdly good time with Senran Kagura 2 Deep Crimson for the 3DS. And,
nice.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to be honest. I was interested to see how a 3D action game, because I had just recently played Ninja Wars for the Switch. I was like, how's this going to work on the 3DS? Extremely well. It's surprisingly one of the best running and performing action games on the 3DS. I highly recommend if you can pick it up digitally or whatnot. I was lucky enough to be able to snag a pre-order from Limited Run Games. That was kind of a hot mess, because you just recently pre-ordered Radiant Silvergun.
Yep.
And they were like, hey, at noon or whatever, I can't remember the exact time, it'll go live. It goes live 30 minutes early, Well, with this, it was 30 minutes late. And then it was enough time for all the bots and scalpers.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's just, it was not a miserable experience, but I had somewhere to be. It was annoying, but luckily I got it, and I didn't have to wait over a year to get it, and I had a blast with it. It was really good. And then the shmups I played were Ghostblade HD. I'm a noob at shmups. But it was a fun game, but it was not easy. It was a fun challenge to be able to get through it start to finish, because you didn't have unlimited continues or anything like that.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know, man. My safety blanket. But I played that, and then I played Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid for the Switch. Surprisingly a really fun but ultimately easy shmup. But it was really fun. But they have difficulty sliders for both of them. Not to knock Miss Kobayashi. I obviously played it on an easier setting, and I just love coming back to shmups and working through them a little bit more. So I had a lot of fun with all those 3 games, and now I'm in Morrowind and good times.
Enjoying time.
Any other games you're working on right now?
What I'm playing right now, really just started 2 days ago, is I think it's called Shadow Warrior, which was a 93 PC game.
Interesting.
And then Devolver remade it in some part of 2000. It's somewhat modern. Okay. It's just run around and slice people up with a sword. It's very immature. It's a very immature game.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less from
Devolver.
Yeah.
And I caught her. There was a room I just got through, and they had it was a little arcade. And they had a Serious Sam machine and a Hotline Miami machine. I'm very excellent.
Hotline Miami is
such a good game.
What's up with the 3rd entry? They're such a tease.
I know, it's killing me.
I love but hate Devolver.
I know.
Anyways, thank you all so much for joining us, for us just chatting about the games we're playing in. Danik, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
And please let us know what games you're working on down in the comments. I really would love to hear it. I always seem to learn of some weird new game
Yes.
from the community. So thank you. And I want to get a massive thank you to the channel patrons. Your support is so excellent and encouraging. Thank you so much. It's such an inspiration. And we will see you all next time.